This is Water Over Toilet Paper, and in today's list, we'll be talking about movies that are destined to be classics. Oh, Prasanna, can you explain what movies destined to be classics mean?
What we think are classics are movies that are influential. They should have some cultural footprint of some kind. Also, movies that are generally great. I think that's a big basic qualifier. We will be going through a list of movies that we think are destined to be classics in their own genres. Each movie on this list is a classic for a different reason and not numbered.
We'll be covering movies only from 2016 till 2022. Action movies. India doesn't really make a straight up action movies. We mostly make mass movies that are also kind of action movies. But in terms of straight action movies, we have Uri, which is really great. But something that really stood out for us personally is Kaisi. It's a very simple plot. You get rid of all the setup part within the first 20 minutes, and the rest of the movie is just like this non-stop action movie, and it's really fun.
உள்ள போறதுக்கு முன்னாடி என்ன பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தேன்னு தெரியாதுல்ல.
Weird movies, for lack of a better term. These are movies that have sort of an artistic bent and don't really fit into any proper genre conventions. Movies like Churli or Jallikattu, which are a little more esoteric and weird. For us, the movie that stood out the most is Super Deluxe, which is this grand anthology film with multiple storylines interconnecting in the weirdest ways.
The fact that Super Deluxe was actually financially successful is a really good thing.
I think it's definitely a classic.
Biopics. Bollywood made a lot of biopics. It can be sports stars, politicians, film stars, all kinds of biopics. Movies like Surarai Potru, which had like a great performance by Surya, Mahanati, great performance by Kirti Suresh. But something that really fucking hit us properly was Sardar Udham from 2021. It is the best kind of biopics where you get so much about the character. It hits you in such a personal way, and it gives so much history and blah 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 blah, and it's so good.
Freedom is my birthright, and fighting for freedom is no crime.
Thrillers. Like with other genres, we don't really have proper thriller genre movies that come out often. One that I remember is Rachasan, which was excellent. It had some very, very creepy imagery in it. The storyline was also very creepy.
And in Telugu, we had Kshanam, which was really, really good. That really started Adivsesh's like thriller movies.
By far the thriller that we think will be remembered in the future is Andhadhun, which mixed black comedy, really, really great plot, and very fucking intense sequences that were funny and scary and...
Comedies. Some of the movies that really made us go ha 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 were something like Chichore from 2018. In Telugu last year we had Jatiratnalu, which was like out and out funny from the get-go, but a comedy that works as a buddy movie, a movie about filmmaking, and just like a well-written movie overall is Nagaran Kemaindi. It is very quotable, it is funny, it already went really deep into the culture here. There's so many meme templates, all this, and yeah, I really hope they make a sequel to this.
Crime. Nayattu, which is great.
Drishyam 2 from last year, it was a great sequel, great crime movie. It really added to the first movie.
The winner, Vikram Vedha. Oru Kada Solata Sir, guys. Am I right? Which was a great fucking crime thriller. It had an awesome structure and amazing ending as well. I think that's the movie that undoubtedly made Vijay Sethupathi the star he is today. These are movies that focus purely on interpersonal conflicts within like a set number of closed off characters.
One of those movies is Kumbalangi Nights from 2019. It's It's about people living in Kumbalangi and all these different characters having their nice little drama.
And Sarpata Parambarai from 2021, which was advertised as a boxing movie and then ended up being so much more. But by far the film that we think will stand out beyond all these is 2016's Kapoor and Sons, which is as simple as film plots go, and it gets so much out of it. There's great interpersonal conflicts, there's all these enormous character arcs that come out of nowhere. It has such a wonderful bittersweet ending.
मरने से पहले मैं चाहता हूँ कि मेरे परिवार के साथ एक फैमिली फोटो हो जिसके नीचे टाइटल होगा कपूर एंड सन्स.
Blockbusters. They throw a lot of money to get even more money. Speaking of throwing money, Shankar and 2.0. He threw a lot of money. It's fun. It's big. There are movies like Tanhaji, Kalang, Thugs of Hindustan, Panipat. These are all bad examples of blockbuster. And the reason these 4 movies exist is because some man called Rajmouli made a movie called Bahubali. And yeah, our pick is the obvious Bahubali 2. It made so much money. It's big, it's spectacular. It's what you go to theater for. And it would have been so cool if RRR also came out this year. But fuck it.
Omicron.
I have it. Horror, and this particular genre is something we actually are really bad at.
What's his name? Mahesh Bhatt.
We have like the band Mahesh Bhatt sex, or it's just like bland, boring. Even in this pile of shit, some of the movies that stand out are Sri, which was actually funny and somewhat scary. Came Over, which was a really neat little horror movie. The best horror movie that is genuinely good is Tumbad. It's a movie that came out of nowhere and it really has such a creepy atmosphere. There are great performances. It's this weird fable-like story.
It has an amazing script that I think you can put alongside other great horror films and it still stands on its own.
Baba, तुम्बाड़ में क्या है?
Feminism movies, they're not a genre obviously, but it is an important thing that started out in the last few years and we've been getting great films from it obviously.
One of the movies that were actually successful with a female lead star is Razi.
In 2021 we got 2 great films like this, Great Indian Kitchen and then the even better Sandeep or Pinky Farrar, which has one of the best scripts ever again. Somehow it's symbolic, it works on a normal crime thrillery level, it also has weird comedy in it. But by far, the 2 movies that I will remember, Pink and Aruvi, which is just a wonderful comedy about a woman holding a TV station hostage. Pink, what needs to be said about this that hasn't already been said?
You are a woman of questionable character.
Character study. And what a character study is a movie that basically looks at a character from top to bottom. It's a biopic but for a fictional character. And blah 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 blah, the pick is obvious. Pink, more like red because tampons.
Yeah, Arjun Reddy is fucking actually great. It's a great fucking character study. It actually makes a 3-hour movie look like some 2-hour small little thriller. It has a great performance by Vijay Devarkonda. Brought a star director, Sandeep Reddy Vanga, who will make kick-ass movies. And yeah. Social message movies. I generally don't like these movies because it feels like the message comes first and the story and everything comes later. But these are some of the movies where the message comes naturally from the story. One of them is Urta Punjab from 2016. It talks about the drug problem in Punjab in the most fun way possible. Karnan, directed by Mari Selvaraj, which takes a big star like Dhanush and makes a really impactful, powerful social message movie. But Mari Selvaraj's first film is even better at this, and that's our pick, Pariyerum Perumal. It's emotionally brutal. I think the ending 30 minutes of this movie is just hits you on another level, and the last scene is so poignant.
இனிமே நான் வக்கீல், பரியேறும் பெருமாள், BABL மேல ஒரு கோடு.
Romance. At least in Bollywood, romance is something that have been not really making money that much, but still there are movies like Man Marziya which prove it otherwise. Laila Majnu, it's a script written by Imtiaz Ali, really good music, phenomenal performances. The entire second half of the movie is great. There's Maniratnam's Kaatru Velidai, which is very interesting, brave romance movie. It's more about like a very toxic relationship and all that, but the best romance movie that is so sweet, genuine and all that is 96. Again, Vijay Sethupathi and Trisha, great performances. Vijay Sethupathi's character is the most nicest of nice persons you will ever watch. The love story is so delicate and sweet and nostalgic and gangster movies are movies about mobs and gangs and how they like violence and how their life is sad tragedy. In 2017 we had Lijo Joseph's Angamali Diaries, which is a great gangster movie. The other Malayalam gangster movie that is even better is last year's Malik. We talked enough about it I think in the list videos, but still Fahad Fasil's great performance, amazing story, just like so grand and wonderful. And the better version of this, Vadachennai, I think it's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's definitely one of my favorite movies of all time. Fucking Vetrimaran is fucking great. Dhanush is great. I rewatched this movie so many times. It does what a gangster movie does in such a great way. What an opening. So many characters. It effortlessly just takes all these characters and somehow makes it non-linear, and it still fucking works. And I don't understand why there's not enough hype about this movie.
ಗುಡ್ಸಿಯೋ ಕುಪ್ಪ ಮಾಡೋ ಇದು ನಮ್ಮ ಊರಿಗ ನಮ್ಮದಾದ ಪಾತೂನು ನಮ್ಮದಾದ ಸಂಡ ಸೇನು.
Mass movies. So the difference between blockbusters and mass movies is simple. Blockbusters are more of a contained product. It's more of a Western thing. Whereas mass movies have more of a star focus.
We both agree that Malayalam people can't really make mass movies that well. But one of the actual good mass movies from there is Ayyappan Kosham. It is a really fun mass movie where it's this hero versus this hero. They fight. In Tamil, we had Jagame last year, which is a flop. Which again, we had Peta from same director, failure.
Then we had Master, which came out last year, which is also like really great, but
again, Tamil people were like,
I'm so glad it's still the highest grossing movie, but it's insulting how close they got to it. But my picks for what will be classics in the genre, I think one more than the other. One is Pushpa.
Yeah, and this also has the same problem of Hindi people are watching, Bengali people, everyone's watching. But Telugu people, average padam.
I've seen it 4 times. He's seen it 6 times. Where we've talked about it in a review, we talked about it in the list, we talked about it on a podcast. We're making an essay on it.
Pushparaj, Yavatekkedala.
And the other even greater movie that I think goes beyond what these traditional mass movies do. 2018 Rangasthalam, again by Sukumar. Wow, this is one of my favorite movies for sure. It has these like typical mass movie highs of like hero goes beats villain, but it also so naturally and organically evolves into something greater, a story of this community that's under the footheel of this Brahmin patriarch and how they have to come together, how the politics is just so fucked and it's eerily real.
And despite all these sad things, he said it's one of the funniest Sukumar movies. Ramcharan gave probably his career best performance and Samantha was amazing in it.
This is definitely my favorite Sukumar movie and this is definitely what I think will stand the test of time.
Ranga, Ranga, Rangasthalana.
Best GVM movie
that never came out.
There's some quality picks.
There is the one that he stole from Karthik Narayan. There are 3 of his own things that are still there. The best one is Dhruva Natachitram.
Something that will stand the test of time and be remembered as the thing that never came out.
Sometimes he just releases a song like, oh, I'm gonna release it. But no, suddenly it's like a Simbu teaser Then again, like a Netflix thing, a web series, he's acting, he's called to an actors round table.
He's an Anbu Selvam.
I have no idea what he's doing. These are the things that we think will be classics, and if you disagree, comment and say why you disagree, and we'll tell you why you are wrong. Like this video, share this video, and subscribe to the channel. We are doing live streams also now. We'll be making more essay style big videos, these type of listicles too. I hope you got some recommendations from this video.